Hey, it's Mr. Soderback again. We're going to have a quick lesson today on what the heck is an industry sector. Let me share my screen here real quick with you. And we are going to get started. All right. So, you guys may not know about this kind of terminology. You may know what a career is, but they're also clustered into what we call industry sectors. There's a bunch of them. You're kind of familiar with a lot of these, everything. And we're going to go over these really quickly, and I'm going to speed through these, and we're going to get to a quick assignment in the end. The point about introducing this today is that during the year, I usually have either an event or even a week set aside to bring in speakers or do a little mini fair. Sometimes I'll have a field trip or an in-class activity that's focused solely on these industry sectors themselves. So one of the first ones we have coming up is going to be in building and construction, and that also includes some industry and jobs as well. That one's going to be coming up. It may be right after this particular lesson that you have. We're also going to have careers in public service. You'll see that on the list, and also one in transportation, which is going to include some of the stuff in manufacturing and product development as well. So let's get started real quick. And a lot of times, the industry sectors are going to have jobs that are related back to that sector itself. So first is agricultural and natural resources. Of course, that's pretty much anything environmental, growing food, etc. And you can see on here, depending upon the level of education you want, will also indicate what kind of career is available. Um, Arts, media, and entertainment, of course, we all know about that, but of course, you have to understand what 4-year or 2-year degree is necessary to get into those kind of careers, or whether or not you're just going to have like a technical school or vocational training, right? And arts and media entertainment also includes anything to do with sports, not just film, media, online, or visual arts. So it's basically any arts and entertainment of any sort. Building and construction trades, we're going to have that here on campus. Most of those jobs are in a technical sense. They are usually an apprenticeship. So most of the people you're going to be seeing here on campus are going to be apprenticeships. We'll also take some field trips that are associated with apprenticeships as well. Although you can go on to a 4-year degree in construction management. Many times you'll start off with an apprenticeship and then go back to school at a later date. Business and finance, a lot of that's going to be towards a 4-year degree, whether that's in finance. I have some examples here: financial analysis. Um, it could be in business management, right? And we'll have activities and speakers for this as well. Some of the speakers will be coming directly into the business management class. Educational child development and family services. Well, you can ask your teachers right there, what's it like, right? What did they have to do to get into it? Right. So everyone usually has to have a 4 degree first. And then we go back for at least a year to get our credentialing. But you can keep going, right? And you can actually get a doctorate in education as well. But you can start off, as a paraprofessional, then move on to an actual role as an educator, and then go on from there. Energy, environment, and utilities. Yes, and anything to do with energy or environmental resources, lots of different opportunities available. Everything from a solar installer, power plant technician, water treatment operators, things like that. Not things that necessarily come top of mind, but they pay well, right? And it depends on what level you want to get into it at. Engineering and architecture, tons of different careers in engineering, and there's a huge, vast array of engineering degrees as well. Typically, it's going to be a 4-year degree or above to get into engineering. There are some things you can do, such as being an engineering tech. That might be a 2-year or even a vocational program. Fashion and interior design, again, 4-year degree. We do have some local colleges who do that. Most of the jobs for this will be out of area, like up in LA. However, that's fairly close by. So, and there's some schools who do specialize in this. Health sciences and medical technology. boy, that's a huge field and also in great demand right now. And you can start with things that are just as simple as being an EMT, which is emergency medical technician, phlebotomist, people who take blood. You can get into a short-term program called CNA, Certified Nurses Assistant, and then work up from there. A lot of times you'll hear a lot of the jobs are going to be registered nurse all the way up to something like being a physician or a surgeon. There's also technology involved with the field itself, such as people who design and make and operate MRI, X-ray technicians, and everything else. Hospitality, tourism, and recreation. We have our own culinary arts here program. You can get a degree in culinary arts. We just went down to Grossmont the other day with a culinary group, right? You could also go on to hotel and hospitality management degrees as well. And of course, this is for anybody who wants to get into the culinary area, being a chef, run their own restaurant, or let's say also run a hotel. Information and communications technologies, that's anything in tech. I come from tech, and I'll tell you, generally, you can be a support technician with about 2 years of education, but the reality is 4 years is kind of the base level, and you want to work up from there. And there's tons of stuff. Don't let them fool you. There's tons of stuff in tech still. And you know, artificial intelligence or not, there's still lots to do. You know, the world runs on software and networks, and that is not going to go away anytime soon. Manufacturing and product development. This is probably the least known of these. There are some careers you can get into, like machinists and things like that, who are and CNC programmers who run stuff that goes in the background that you would program to actually make parts and that go into the process. So there's also industrial engineers, product managers, and the rest of it. We don't know as much about this here at school as we probably should, but there's tons of careers in manufacturing, and there's manufacturing right here in Vista. All right, so the other part of business is considered to be marketing, sales, and service. That has to do with everything in marketing. That's some part of the areas I come from originally. Generally, unless you're doing just sales, you're going to need a 4-year degree in marketing to get into that field itself. But there's lots of stuff you can do. Sales is, of course, a very common occupation out there, whether it's selling cars, whether it's selling homes as a real estate agent, or on the business side, you may be selling services, software, and the like. So, and a lot of this also has to do with any of the marketing that goes into any product and all the product designs as well. Public service. So this is anybody that taxes support. Education sometimes falls underneath this banner, but we split it off into its own sector. This is like your fire, rescue, police, you know, and things like that. A lot of times military is also classified in this category. And we will have our own fair with them here on campus coming up soon, right? Transportation, this is if you can drive it, fix it, or design it, then it moves. It's the transportation sector. And this year we do have a new one coming up in November. We're going to have a mini fair for this, and hopefully we'll get some of them to stick around and do some speaker sessions as well. So if you're into anything, whether it flies or drives, transportation sector might be for you. Government and public administration. This also is one that you could start off at something like maybe being a county clerk, right? Also includes people a lot of times who are in law, right? Or public management, right? Anybody who works in government, this is the sector they're going to be in, including elected officials. All right, so we kind of marched through those really quickly, and I just wanted to give you some exposure and have you understand what a cluster is and a sector, so that you would understand when I have like Healthcare Careers Week, what does that mean? You know, if we have a Transportation Careers Week, what's that going to mean, right? And this also helps me identify from you what you're into. So the assignment today is to go into Zello, go to your About You page, right? So it's all on top About Me. Go down about halfway. It's going to say favorite clusters. Go in there and highlight two that you're into. So I know when these other speakers and these events are coming up that I know to invite you to make sure that you can have that experience, right? And here's what the other page looks like, right? And you want to highlight at least two of those. You can highlight as many as you want. I don't care. But it's really the ones that you're going to be concentrating on and they're interested in getting into. So I can match you up to the right experiences and the right people. All right, that's going to be it.